Friday. Today is Friday, obviously, and I'm gonna go work with my friends at WeWork. She's picking me up now. I thought I would do like a vlog style freelance day in the life, just so you can see what kind of projects I'm working on and how I organize my day. I'm getting a super late start today, but it's fine because it's Friday. Today I'm not really on anyone else's schedule, so if I start at whatever time, it's just until whatever time I finish, and normally I work. A lot of times I work at night on my freelance stuff too, so it's okay that we're getting a late start. I want to do this vlog style. I like sit down videos, but I feel like they're not as visually like interactive as I would like them to be, or I want to do more vlog style videos. So let me know if you prefer those, if you prefer vlogs versus sit down videos, because I will try to do more of those instead, like vlogs about my career versus vlogs about my personal life. All right, so let's go to WeWork. We're going to a new location here in Miami. It's the Wynwood location. My friend works for WeWork, so she wants to show me that location, so that's where we're gonna go today. Usually I will go to the South Beach location, or I will stay and work from home, so depending on what I'm feeling that day. If I'm like very productive and I just want to get everything done at home, then I can do that. If I like want to be in a work environment, I'll go to WeWork. So show them your outfit and tell them what they call you. Wow, hold on, I think you might have to look at that outfit. Look at those shoes. Wow, amazing. Looking great. Look at it. Good job. So we finally just sat down to do a little bit of work, and like I said earlier, I wanted to show you more of what I do on a day when I'm freelancing and when I'm just on my own schedule. I said this in a video I last published, that I wanted to work more on my freelance writing. So a lot of today will consist of pitching myself and pitching stories, researching different publications that I could write for, and doing a lot of that. So I'll show you sort of how I do that. And it'll also, I'm working with my friend who is an influencer, and she also has a YouTube channel, and I'm working on connecting her with different brands, so I'm gonna work on that too today. This my next 90-day planner, which I think I talked about already. It's basically a planner that plans out your first 3 months of the year. Here I have Friday, I have to pitch stories to Pop Sugar, pitch ID channels, pitch your stories to your publication, or a number of publications that I'm going to reach out to. That's really helpful because it helps me understand if I could do more, if I could do, or if I need to do less, because maybe one day it takes me a really long time to sort of figure out what story I have. I also normally write down story ideas on my notes on my phone. Like if I'm thinking of something and something comes up, I'll write it down. And so I have a bunch of notes of different story ideas that I want to pitch, and I sometimes just look at what publications would go well with what. You know, like for Pop Sugar, it's mostly like personal essays, but if I'm writing something for, you know, like Mind Body Green or another publication, or a publication that features people more versus personal essays, then I would think of somebody that I could feature, or it just depends on the publication and what they're looking for. It's a part of PR that I do for my personal projects and I guess my personal brand. So I posted a video this week about how to set your freelance rates, and I got this comment that said, could you do a video about some of the misconceptions people have about your career? I'm gonna do a video just on that, or I'll address that in another video. But then she also asked, what are some ways you can maintain a portfolio on the work that you've done? There are many different websites where you can have a portfolio of your writing or any work that you've done. It just depends. So for like design, there's a different website. So if you're designing books, or if you're designing for more like graphic design or flyers or whatever, there's websites for that. And then if you're a writer, there's also websites where you could keep your work. I'll do some research on the websites and I'll include them down in the description box below. But you can also just create your own website. I used to have one using Wix, and I know you can use Wix or Squarespace if you're not really if you don't really know how to create your own websites. They have different templates for you to use, so you can use those there, and it's pretty user-friendly. I know that Wix was really user-friendly for me, but I also realized that I never used it, and I never really sent out my samples like that. I mostly sent them via email, so I haven't really kept up, like I don't have it up to date. So I just removed it for a little bit until I can get it up to date and I can get all of my samples on there. But that is one way that you can have a portfolio of your work. Something, not that I wish I knew before, but something that caught me by surprise is the amount of writing that you have to do, like every day. So every day is like, if you're distributing a pitch, it has to be you know, has to be created, and then press releases are written every time there's an event, every time there's something new coming out. And just in general, like, pitching requires a lot of writing. The writing that it requires is different from the writing that I do for an article or for like a personal essay, because it has to be a lot more convincing, and you have to sell your client, and you have to be able to sort of convince the publication that they need to cover this person or this project or whatever it is. So, but yet it still has to remain as unbiased as possible. What I found out later in my career versus at the beginning of my career. But I always say this in every video, that PR requires a lot of writing. So I'm sending out pitches now, and I wanted to show you some of the pitches that I already sent out for stories that have already been published, and how I've done that. Just keep in mind that I have already a relationship with this editor, so I don't have to explain too much in my pitches or talk too much about what the article will be about. Like 2 to 3 sentences is good. So for some editors, maybe if you're just pitching a publication for the first time, you'll have to add more information, but this is specifically just for Prop Sugar and the editor that I sent over this pitch to. So I published an article on being a 27-year-old Latina. My mom is 48. Here's how our dating styles differ. Basically, I just begin with what happened, like what inspired me to write the story, and then what the story would focus on. So interesting to explore differences in dating styles and ages as it relates to dating applications, where to meet potential partners, and overall state of mind, and from these 2 different perspectives. And then I have, like, if you're this one, the second one, Latina Beauty Files, has not been published yet, but I pitched it and I already wrote it, just waiting for her to prove it. And then Single Latina Moving Out on Your Own, this is another one that has already been published. It was published in December. So this last one is coming from personal experience and just basically advice or tips that I wanted to share if you wanted to move out on your own, and how to talk to your parents about it. And that is how I sent over these pitches to her. But like I said, it differs depending on whether or not you have a relationship with the editor, or what you're pitching, or if you have, like, sometimes people will pitch stories that have already been written. You could do it like that too. I don't normally do that, because if they don't pick it up, then I think it's just sort of a waste of time. It's best to pitch the story ideas and how you're gonna address it, or from what angle you're gonna write it, and then have them improve it, and then write the story. Good. Oh, nice. So we're getting a salad and a yummy sandwich that looks a lot better than the salad. Healthy life. What are you working on? It just sends out. I just sent out. What are you working on? For Pop Sugar. Just sent out some cool story ideas that I'm excited to write. I hope the editor likes them and she approves them so I can write the story. It's almost 3. Let's see what I've done today. I've pitched stories to Pop Sugar. I worked on my friend's brand and getting just her name out to different companies and seeing how we can work together on that. And now I'm gonna send my resume. My friend texted me earlier today telling me that her friend was looking for some freelance help, like for PR. So I'm gonna send her my resume, and hopefully we'll get on a call sometime next week about what it is she needs, and see if that could be a potential opportunity for me to take on, or if I could help her in any way. That's what I'm working on now. I realized that I forgot to answer one of the questions. Do you know how many projects or freelance work you can take on at once when you're first starting out? That's a good question. I don't necessarily know. I guess it depends on how much time you have. For example, I have a certain amount of hours a week that I have to allot to our PR agency that I work for. Aside from that, I do a lot of freelancing, and that's mostly towards the end of the week, and I also like work on my YouTube at night. I also work on my YouTube anytime that I'm not working with the agency. And I work on the weekends, so it just depends on how much time you can actually have to offer. So when you're first starting out, I would say just take whatever comes. obviously having a reasonable time frame for you to complete that for yourself. But I think the more you do it, the more you know how much you can take on. Like if I had a full-time job, I wouldn't have the energy to do a lot of freelance work, because you have to spend, you know, especially if you're commuting to your job, you spend time getting there, you spend time there, and all of the energy that you have to put into your work, and then you get back, and then by the time you get back to your house, like that's it, you're done, you're like pooped for the day. And if you want to like incorporate working out and having some sort of self-care at some point in the week, it's very difficult to manage freelance opportunities unless you're going to work on the weekend and you're going to overwork yourself. So if that's the case, I would just try to take on like 1 or 2 a month and see how you do that. It also depends on how fast you can write. Writing for me, especially writing personal essays, writing for me is sometimes it flows very easily, and I normally write the article, I edit it the next day, and then I can just, you know, submit it. So it just depends on the work that you're doing. So I think maybe it would be good for you guys if I did like a case study of somebody, or I'm gonna think of like a better way to be able to explain this to you, or to be able to give you different scenarios that you can sort of work with, so that if you wanted to apply freelancing, or if you wanted to go fully freelancing, you would have a better idea of how that could look like. I'm getting ready to head out soon because we got a sort of a late start to the day today, to the work day. I didn't get as much as I wanted to get done, but I'll probably work later tonight or sometime this weekend. I'll definitely work sometime this weekend because I have to edit this video, and I'll probably work on the rest of the things I have to do today. I hope this video gave you an idea of what I'm doing lately to get my writing out there and to get more freelance opportunities. I will see you next week.